A warm welcome to Senator the Honorable Avinash Singh, Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, cocoa stakeholders, farmers and guests. I would now like to invite Ms. Mala Patap, Acting CEO of the Cocoa Development Company and Chairman of the National Organizing Committee to deliver opening remarks. Thank you.
On behalf of the National Organizing Committee, I extend a hearty welcome to this recognition and prize-giving ceremony for the third edition of the National Cocoa Awards. As you may know by now, the National Cocoa Awards competition is the entry point for Trinidad and Tobago to participate in the International Cocoa of Excellence competition, referred to as COEX, which is the most prestigious global cocoa competition that recognizes the work of cocoa farmers and celebrates the quality and flavor diversity of cocoa produced around the world. Since the inception of the COEX in 2009, our country has won a total of 8 awards in the original format of the competition. In 2021, the format was changed, and cocoa farmers are now recognized by 4 cocoa producing regions, namely Africa and the Indian Ocean, Asia and the Pacific, Central America and the Caribbean, and South America. Trinidad and Tobago is in the region of Central America and the Caribbean. The 2021 edition of the competition was held in this new format, and in this competition, the samples from Annette Mills and Winthrop Harewood received silver awards, and the sample from Four Roads Stamina Cluster copped a bronze award, all in the category of Central America and the Caribbean. So overall, Trinidad and Tobago has won a total of 11 awards, making us the most awarded cocoa producing nation in the history of the competition. This is certainly an achievement to be proud of. Preparations for this third edition of the National Cocoa Awards began with the constitution of the National Organizing Committee, which consisted of representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, the Cocoa Development Company, the Cocoa Research Center, and Export TT. The competition was officially launched in November last year, and the cocoa development officers initiated outreach to farmers to encourage participation. Considerable support had to be provided to farmers who were facing major setbacks in preparation of their samples due to the unusually heavy rainfall that persisted for most of Q4 last year. Unfortunately, some farmers weren't able to participate as they could not harvest and dry their beans on time. However, we still managed to have an impressive 31 participants, and I must point out that we have quite a few new entrants in this edition, and also entrants coming from clusters that are participating for the first time.
The last edition of this National Cocoa Awards event in February 2021 was held under some extremely challenging and unprecedented circumstances as it was held during the COVID-19 pandemic. Notwithstanding, the country was able to cup 3 awards at the International Cocoa of Excellence competition. This third edition of our national competition is also being held under extremely trying circumstances. Now, more than ever, the sector is under serious threat, and production volumes are being impacted by low yields, pest and disease, and the ravages of climate change. In spite of these challenges, you, our faithful farmers, have continued to persevere and have shown tremendous resilience and patriotism. We have successfully managed to have 31 samples submitted in this competition, and I am aware of the extreme lengths which some of you had to go to prepare for your samples. I wish therefore to thank and applaud each and every one of you as your efforts have made this event possible today, and also again allow Trinidad and Tobago to be able to participate in the 2023 Cocoa of Excellence Award competition. I especially want to thank our top 5 winners. Now, I wish to emphasize that participation in this International Cocoa of Excellence competition and the receiving of awards are significant for the country and the sector. Not only do they boost the country's global recognition as a producer of excellent quality, fine flavor beans, but the receiving of the awards is a key arsenal that is used to successfully defend and maintain our status as a 100% fine flavor country. So I want to repeat that. Getting these awards is an arsenal to help us defend having that 100% status, because it's not automatic, we have to defend it. And in getting ready for this defense, CDC is currently engaged in preparing the country's technical dossier, which is to be submitted to the International Cocoa Organization ad hoc panel by the end of April. The ad hoc panel will adjudicate upon the submitted dossier at its meeting in mid-June.
FAO has been supporting the cocoa initiative in Trinidad and Tobago, using a number of initiatives or interventions, as mentioned by our chairman. We cannot focus on everything in a country if we are to assist the country with their agricultural development strategy. So let us give priority to a single commodity. We can work on all the others, but there must be something that must be given priority. And he introduced this concept, and we started, and Trinidad and Tobago, through the Ministry of Agriculture, PS, and the former minister, existing minister, they deliberated on it, and we agreed that cocoa will be given priority. Through that initiative, we were able to gain $30,000 to start, as you heard before, strengthening of the marketing arrangements, strategic marketing for cocoa. And then, with the support of the little professor, Professor O'Maharan, who worked with us, with the CEO, FAO, we developed a strategic concept as to how we want to advance the cocoa development in Trinidad and Tobago. And I must say to you that this was so well received by an international committee set up by FAO that 5 countries across the globe were selected, of which Trinidad and Tobago was the only one in Latin America and the Caribbean. So let us give Trinidad and Tobago. From this, or under this initiative, the Trinidad and Tobago Cocoa Development Board, the Cocoa Development Center, will receive an amount of US $100,000 to start the process. And tomorrow, we will have the inception workshop, of which Professor O'Hamaran will represent Trinidad and will do the presentation on behalf of the Cocoa Board, the Ministry of Agriculture, FAO, Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you very much, Professor.
Exports tend to be very competitive for most products, as we live in a global economy and countries have access to all the raw materials they need to produce most things. In fact, when we at Export TT are trying to identify which products would have that sort of niche characteristic to promote in Trinidad and Tobago, because 70% of our non-energy exports come from food and beverage. And when we're looking at that one product to stand out, to open the door, to open the meetings, is often cocoa, Trinitario cocoa. Right? And that is a fact for particularly those regions outside of our immediate Latin American CARICOM. So we're talking about Middle East. So recently in our expo in Dubai, cocoa was heavily promoted and featured. In terms of the work that we're doing in Europe as well as in Asia, We have been working with a local company, First Caribbean Marketing Company, to exhibit at the China International Import Expo for the last 2 years or so, where our producers are featured prominently as well. So there's also a great need to stand out among other products, because if you look at some of the products that we have in Trinidad and Tobago, they could be easily compared to others. So like things like snacks and other confectionery and stuff like that. We visited like Latin American markets, distributors there, and we saw lines of persons with suitcases waiting for this 15-minute meeting with a potential distributor to sell. And you have to compete on the price, the quality, there's logistics, there's taxes and everything that tallies up. So having something that is unique allows you to really stand out and command a higher price and a better place of negotiation. We are fortunate to have a large number of processors that are now engaging in manufacturing using some of the award-winning beans. We have a resource that few other countries have, and that helps us to stand out and forces people around the world to take notice. Supporting the National Cocoa Awards initiative ensures that the hard work of our farmers and critical organizations like the Cocoa Development Company and the Cocoa Research Center are recognized and continue to support our pathway of excellence. It is on this I promise and pledge to continue our support, the support of Export TT rather, to the competition and the nominees as they embark on positioning cocoa as one of our premium exports out of Trinidad and Tobago. We are eager and excited about your participation in the Cocoa of Excellence Awards 2023.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. In this third edition of the National Cocoa Awards, 30 samples were eligible for entry and were converted to liquor and adjudicated upon by 2 panels of judges. In general terms, the results showed that the samples mainly showed presentation of dried fruit and then brown fruit. They had mainly yellow-fleshed fruit notes, followed by tropical fruit with some acidity. There were also notes of floral and herbal flowers and a mixture of dark and light woody notes. There were some samples that showed some notes of woody spices and tobacco spice and had a mild presence of nutty and caramel panela notes. The 30 samples are ranked in 2 major bands. The samples placing 1st to 20th and the samples placing 21st to 30th. The 5 samples sent to the Cocoa of Excellence Lab are samples that have placed in the top 20 and are samples with the highest scores in each of the 3 categories that Trinidad and Tobago is participating in, which are individual producer 3 samples, large farm and cooperatives 1 sample, and producer group composite sample from a geographic cluster 1 sample.
Cocoa stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, but more importantly, you, the winners today, give yourselves a round of applause. Good morning. It is indeed my pleasure this morning to deliver remarks on this much anticipated awards ceremony for the 3rd edition of the National Cocoa Awards competition on behalf of my line minister, Minister of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, Senator the Honorable Kazim Hussein. I want to assure that this government continues to identify cocoa as a strategic commodity that could contribute significantly to growth and performance of the agricultural sector, and by extension, the diversification of the economy away from petrochemicals. Cocoa is unique to other agricultural commodities in our country, as it is the only commodity currently exported to premium markets, and as such, development of this sector holds significant potential in terms of foreign exchange earnings, contribution to food security, increased entrepreneurial activity, and rural development. I can advise that the ministry has been informed. Ms. Rollins, I know you are at pains to state some of the challenges. I want to assure you that the numerous challenges face this sector, most notably the age tree stocks that need to be replaced, the growing incidence of pests and diseases, and recently the severe impacts of climate change, all of which has resulted in our very low production levels. Notwithstanding, the country continues to hold the status of a 100 fine flavor cocoa producer nation whose beans continue to be revered and highly demanded by chocolatiers around the world. At home here, we also see a rapid growth in the value-added sector and local demand for high-quality cocoa beans. And I must say that it has tripled within the last 5 years, and that is our local taste and our local requirement for cocoa beans. The ministry agrees that the National Awards competition is a step in the right direction and acknowledges that strategies must be implemented as a matter of urgency to address the issues facing the sector so that the farmers, processors, and the country can capitalize on the opportunities to earn significant wealth from the cocoa value chain.
On behalf of the chairman of the National Organizing Committee, I am pleased to be given the task to acknowledge and express gratitude to the persons who collaborated to make this event a success. Special thanks to the Senator, the Honorable Haji Kazim Hussain, for his support and focused attention on the issues of pest and disease on the rise, quality and quantity of planting material, the agri-incentives for cocoa farmers. Special thanks to the Minister's Secretariat who provided invaluable support to the chairman of the NOC in organizing this event. We are grateful for today's speakers who have highlighted the importance of competition for maintaining our country's status as 100% fine flavor cocoa producer and who have also highlighted the urgent need to address the challenges faced by the sector and have pledged their support in their respective capacities. Sincere thanks and appreciation goes out to Professor Umaharan of the Cocoa Research Center and Dr. Darren Suka and his team for their professionalism and expertise in training the judges, administering the judging process, and providing comprehensive documentation on the flavor profiles of the samples. Special thanks to the staff at the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, in the divisions of Research, Horticulture, Communications, and to the staff here at this facility who provided outstanding support in making this venue ready for this event. Special thanks to both panels of judges who readily dedicated their several days out of their busy schedules to perform this critical role. Special thanks to the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards who, for the third time, provided free of charge coding services for samples. Special thanks to our dedicated sponsors, National Flour Mills, Export TT, Angostura, Exim Bank, Marfas, Caribbean Chemicals, Carlson Chemicals, JTA Supermarkets Limited, and Shipco Transport. Deep appreciation goes out to our team at the Cocoa Development Company who worked tirelessly to put this event together. And finally, thanks to you, the participants, for your dedication to this sector, as without you, this competition would not be possible. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.